Hello, hello. Wow, I didn't know I was now live. Hi, guys. She said I am now live, but let me get live on IG over here. Wow. Hi, Andy. I know I was live. I'm over here trying to get ready to get live. Here we go. Good afternoon, my lovely auntie. How are you? It's always happy to see you on here. I love it. So I know you got your business getting ready to launch off, and I can't wait so that we can make sure that you stay on point and be successful, right? Hey, Laverne, thanks for jumping. Hi, Margie. How are you? I'm over here trying to get ready to be live, and I'm already live. Hi, sis. Thanks for jumping in here. All right. So, how you guys doing on this lovely Tuesday? It's Tuesday, right? We just started. The sun is shining a little bit today. It looks a little bit better than it has been yesterday. But again, I have to be thankful, right? Say, thanks, hi, Brian, for joining us over here on IG. Elaine Proby here, CEO, PROBY'S Tax and Accountant. And of course, today we want to talk about how to grow your business in this post-pandemic era. The reason why we're having this conversation once again is because of obviously the pandemic, the global crisis have really affected the entire world and the entire way of how we did business, how we operated in the past, and so we all have to make moves. We have to do different things in order to survive, and so we can continue on to for centuries to come. So what we have to do is maybe make some shift in the way we do business so we can stay successful, right? And everyone have been affected by the global crisis, guys. Not just the small businesses, the large businesses, of course. They can sustain because, of course, they have a lot more overhead than most of the small businesses can. So we want to make sure that for our small businesses, we are making the right moves and doing the right things that we can continue to survive. So today I want to talk about 3 different tips of how we can maintain our business within this post-pandemic era. So it's how to grow your business in the post-pandemic era. So that's exactly what we want to talk about today, guys. Hit like and share on here. Again, I always like to say this because when we speak of small businesses, we're not just speaking of businesses that are incorporated. And I always want to say this because I get these questions all the time. People who are self-employed, guys, if you're out there running a self-employed business, you're getting a 1099 from someone, you're an independent contractor, you are operating a business. Everything we talk about here can apply to you. It does not have to be a business that's incorporated or any of those things. You don't have to be an LLC or any major corporation. You are a business the minute you are self-employed and in business for yourself. Okay, so just take points, take notes, and these points are going to be great for you today. How to grow your business in the post-pandemic era. And I want to jump right in here, guys, on the first thing here. My number 1 point today is how do you redefine your business goals for growth? Okay. Now, when we start a business, we generally have an idea of what we want to do. We have some goals we set. We determine how we're going to run this business, what we're going to offer. We do this whole market research, right? This is what we do. We do market research. We look at our competition. We look at the things we need to do to make sure that the business is going to be up, running, and be successful. So we always set these goals initially when you start, right? However, these are things that we should visit on a regular basis, but due to the pandemic, and because we now have to operate from a different place, we now have to do things completely different, right? For the most part, we need to reevaluate our goals, our business goals. So what we have to do is we notice that we spend more time and more money on software. You guys find this out that if you had never in your whole business, the entire time you've been in business, spend so much money on software and subscription and just different programs and stuff that you need for your business, this is the time that we now have to do this because we have to operate from a whole different place. And so we'll get into more of that as we go along in this session, right? So you have to spend more money on software nowadays than you even do in fixed assets, right? More money on software. Remember, we were doing, say, for instance, we were faxing stuff where A piece of paper would come on the fax machine. Now it's going straight to the computer, to your computer screen. Now you just read it. You don't even print it out. You don't even have to use a paper. So there's a whole other different type of software that we now have to spend more money on, as opposed to major equipment. So in some cases, right, especially in service business. And then we also have to make changes in technology. We have to make a lot of changes in technology, and this was not written in our first business plan. I'm sure it wasn't in there. We weren't thinking of having to use all this major technology to get our business out there to folks, to get, to become successful. We weren't thinking about all the major technology. Now with the pandemic happening, we now have to think of technology. We have to stay ahead. We have to make sure that everything is more innovative so that we can reach our customers easier, so that they can reach us much easier. Communication is, much simpler, smoother. In some cases, right, your clients and your customers weren't able to actually come to you. And so because of that, we had to be able to use technology in different ways to communicate with our customers, communicate with our clients, and also make them feel like we are in the same room with all the different technologies out there. So what you want to do is make sure that you're using the right things for your business, though everything is not for everybody, right? Everything is just not for everyone. So you have to do some research and see what works for your business. And then you want to adapt to that so that your business can function very easily and very smoothly, so you don't lose any steam with your customers or with your clients. We must be on top of this, and we got to be strategic about this, guys. All right. So then you want to make sure that there's all this information out there that you can gather data, which will allow you to know what your customers want, what their needs are, so you can now cater more to their needs. Because, of course, a lot of stuff when it was manual and everybody was just out and doing things, you weren't gathering as much information. I mean, how many of you guys have an email list? How many of you guys know what the clients like? How many of you guys have the survey? How many of you guys for your business have any of this information to find out how all this was affecting your clients? Now, with all the major software, with all the major technology, we can gather all this data, so we can now center our goals to the right customers. We want to make sure we have the right target audience. That's the key for a business to continue to grow. You don't want to spend any money and time with the wrong audience, people who are not in the market for your business, for your product or your service, right? So this is one of the key things, guys, today, is redefining your business goals, the way you were operating, the way you were doing business. And now it's time to make a change. For you to survive, you got to change with the times. All right. Hey, Karen, how are you? Cherise, I want to grow my business, so I'm looking forward to today's live. Awesome. Hey, Karen, thanks for jumping on here. Hi, Margie. How are you? Okay. So today we're talking about these 3 ways to grow your business in the post-pandemic era. We have all been hit very hard on this. And so we want to make sure that we survive and we continue to grow and continue to make money, right? That's what we're here for. Okay, guys. So my number 2 point today is reevaluate your offerings. Now, there are several ways to look at that. There's so many different things that you can offer, especially if in a product-based business. Let's talk about the product-based business for a minute, because a lot of times we talk about the service-based business. So, people shop for convenience products, right? Things that you have to have, things that you have to use on a regular basis, bread, food, certain things you got to have. Those are convenience products. You got to buy those. And then they shop for different things like stuff that are just, things that they need, but they don't have to have, right? I mean, certain clothing and furniture and things like that. You have a choice that you can go different places to get those things. So you don't always have to buy those things. And then, of course, they have specialist stuff where people look for brand name stuff and that kind of stuff. So these are the different type of products and offerings that you have for your business, especially if you're in a product base. And then other stuff that people don't necessarily need, but of course they buy it because they see it. So now if you are in a product-based business and you are having any one of those products to offer, you want to make sure that, of course, you evaluate your offering, what it is that you are selling to the public, and make sure that it's something that they really need. So you want to make sure that there's something that really, you may have to change gears, right? You may have to change gears. You may want to have more convenience product. If you have a store, you may want to have more convenience product in your store. Just for an example, when the pandemic hit, right? When the pandemic hit, I had clients who were into more specialized products in their stores. And when the pandemic hit, the stuff that they were selling, people didn't need it anymore. And so they immediately shifted to things that people needed, the mask, certain stuff that was more pandemic related, and immediately business started rising and they start making more money in their business. So that's just a simple example of what happens in terms of evaluating your offerings, because you can sit back and try to give to the customer, the public, stuff that they don't really need, because times have changed and different things that you used to, the way you used to do business, things that you used to put more emphasis on, things you spend money on changes. And you want to make sure that you change with that, right? You want to be able to incentivize your customers, your clients. You want to be able to incentivize them. You want to be able to have different things like, sales products. You want to be able to give discount codes. You want to be able to, you can have sales, certain things that you can do. Sometimes sales hurt you, but depends on how you do it. It could be seasonal. This is Christmas sales. This is Thanksgiving sale. You see it all the time. Maybe clearance, promotional items. You want to put that out there. So there's different things. You have to look at what you're offering the public, what you're offering your customers. You have to look at what it is that you can give them more of and show that you really value them. This is a very competitive world out there, right? And you want to make sure that people comes to you as opposed to going to somewhere else. And this is the consumers, they'll go where they feel that they're getting the best service, the best product from, and the best price. So you have to be competitive, and you want to reevaluate what your offerings are, make sure that it's what they need, and make sure that it's the best price. Make sure that you give them the best service so they can come back to you. All right. So this is how we're going to grow our business. On my second point today, reevaluating your offerings and how you're doing business. Okay. So, guys, let's move right along. Hey, how you doing over here, Connie? Thanks for jumping on. Hey, Sharice, thanks for jumping in over here as well. We appreciate you. Got some more people over here on IG. Appreciate you guys jumping on as well. So today we're talking about how we can make our business grow in this post-pandemic era, right? So, guys, let's move right on into the third point today. Third point today, extend your reach. I just love this one, extend your reach. We were so used to being, close-knit. We are servicing our community. We may have the community store. We are servicing, where we live. But now everything is now extended out to being global, national, and we are going to have maybe another session on virtuality, because everything now is being done virtually. A lot of stuff, actually not everything, but a lot of stuff is done virtually. And we have to be able to take our business, whatever our business is, whatever that business model is, we want to be able to use the whole virtual system so that we can extend. We can sell not only to our community, not only to the people on the street or in the neighborhood, but we can now sell online. We can sell to the world. We can provide our services globally because of all of the new technology and the way we have to do business now. Okay, so we want to make sure, guys, that you are actually making this change. Do what it takes to make this change, whatever you have to do to make sure that you are virtual. And virtual, now you can service, again, like I said, nationally or globally, depending on what product or services you're offering, right? You can offer more value to your customers, more value to the employees, because, again, the employees can have a better relationship with the customers now because they can interact even easier. You have all the various ways for interacting with your clients, interacting with your customers, everything online now. You can do that very easily. People don't have to do as much traveling. They don't have to be in traffic as much anymore. So, it's easier, faster, and quicker. You can get a whole lot more done in a lot less time, right? Think about this, a whole lot more done in a lot less time. You can have a meeting virtually, you can brainstorm, you can come up with new ideas, and then you can, you can offer more to your customers and your clients virtually, online, quicker, faster, and you can increase their productivity and make more money, guys. Business can only grow when you do this, okay? So that's reaching out, extending your business or your services virtually. Nationally, you can do that nationally or internationally, depending on the product or service that you have to offer. Okay, so that's one of the things I want to make sure that's 3 points, guys, we must do to stay on point and to survive this whole post-pandemic era. We all want to stay in business. If you're in the food business, you notice how they're doing that. People are packaging food, they're doing food meal preparation, they're doing deliveries. Everyone does not have to show up at the restaurants anymore. They don't have to come out to the to your place of business anymore. Things can be delivered. There's so many ways that we can do this business. We just need to make sure that we stay on point, right? We get in technology, we stay virtual, we have everything online so that we can provide our business, our services, and our product to the world, right? This is what we need to do to stay in. All right, so guys, that's my 3 points today. I'm going to recap what we're talking about today is how to grow your business in post-pandemic era. Again, this global crisis that hits the entire world have us start thinking completely different at how we can maintain our business and continue to make money, as well as just staying afloat. Okay, so number 1 point today, guys, we want to redefine our goals, redefine your business goals. We want to make sure that whatever that idea was that we initially started with can still work now after the pandemic, since things have changed. We want to make sure our goals are still right. We want to take a look at that. And it's okay. You can visit your goals maybe every 6 to 12 months to just make sure you're on point with that. And you can always change. You can always change. There's nothing wrong with changing. Okay, stay on top of technology and make sure that you're on point with that. The second point is reevaluate your offerings. Make sure you're not offering a product that is not needed by the public anymore. What you need to do is maybe have a sale, seasonal clearance sale, get rid of those items. They are no longer needed, right? So you might want to get rid of that stuff. So you want to reevaluate your offerings and see what you have, what are your services, what are your product that you're offering to the public. Is this something they really need? Is it something they're going to spend money on? And or, make the change if you have to. Don't be afraid to make the change. So the third point today is extending your reach, meaning going virtual with whatever it is you're doing. You can go virtual with your product or your service. That can become a national and or international sale item for you and your services, if in fact you're in that business that can go international. Okay, so but you have to be virtual. You have to be up with technology to make this happen. And all this stuff, again, like I said earlier, people are spending more money on software than they do sometimes now on on equipment, right? More money on software. I have so many programs now within my business that we're having to run our business off so many different operational programs, unlike we ever did before. But this is trying to stay ahead of the game, to stay up with technology so that we can survive this pandemic, right? So, hey, learner, hello, hello. So Anna said, I am listening. I am listening, yes. So that's my 3 points today, guys. I hope this works for you. Go back over this video. If you are in business, and I know that you're in some type of business. Start making those adjustments. If you haven't already made them, make sure that you start making them now. Because look, we are not out of the pandemic yet. And so we want to, now that we are here, we want to continue to grow, continue to make money, and so that we can survive. And guys, I just want to leave this with you. In doing all this, being in business and making all these changes that you need to make for your business to stay in business, is make sure that you guys do your accounting, because of a lot of this planning and projecting has to do with knowing what your business is doing, knowing what money comes in, what money goes out. Make sure that you are able to do that as well, so you can make some very valuable decisions by looking at your numbers, right? So we got to do our accounting, guys. We got to do that. And so we can make those changes. And you may need to be investing more money. Again, you have to spend some money to make money. You may invest money in your software, technology, and all that stuff to stay virtual. And you may need to get a consultant to help you with the technological part of the business, because of course that might not be your expertise, right? But we must do it. We must do it for the business to survive. So that's what I got to say today. We will be back here on Thursday. And Thursday, guys, I want to remind you guys, we're going to have a whole session on what are we doing here?